if you just can't wake up and start working right away, it's probably not because you haven't watched enough motivational videos. It's probably because you don't have the motivation and the discipline to do so. Also, like, it's not also motivation, but there is the purpose factor, there is like the joy when you're doing the work factor, and all of those things. Because if you don't have joy when you're working towards your goals, the goal is probably trash. The goal is probably like, even if it's not trash, it's not for you, right? The problem with motivational quotes and speeches are that you don't have the motivation first, all right? If you wanna like search for those videos and if you watch them, it probably means that you don't have the motivation first, which is a problem because you have to have the motivation. And if you try to get the motivation through speeches and quotes, even if your motivation goes up for the first 10 minutes or so, for the first an hour or so, like, it's probably not that much, but it's there is a peak, right? But after some minutes, like 5 minutes or so, it's gonna decline. It's gonna go down, and it's an incontrovertible, incontrovertible, but it's a rule that you can't deny, which is your dopamine system works that way. So the way you get the motivation sucks. So that's why you can't stay motivated throughout the day. Alright. So you need motivation first thing first. You need to have some dopamine in order to not use your like all of your willpower to waking up. Alright. You have to have some kind of a purpose. You have to have some kind of a joy whilst doing that thing. Because let's to be honest, you don't get up disciplined when you want to play games. You don't like be like, oh, I'm just gonna play games like all day. No, you just play games. You just play Fortnite all day, bro. Just go for a competitive match in CS:GO or CS2 or whatever it is, and just grind, bro, for hours. How would you do that? There's a motivation factor. There's dopamine, but there's also the same for working long hours. Like, even like I woke up 3:30 in the morning, like actually 3:20, and the first thing that I did was like praying. Then I wrote my book like for an hour or so. Then I prayed again, and then I like worked on my computer and stuff. I'm currently learning anatomy and stuff, and then I edited some videos, and now I'm here, bro, talking to you. And how did I do that? Without even like looking that much to my phone like that. It's probably I've looked for my phone for like except recording this video on and the previous video, like looking at my gallery, like if I have some videos to export to my computer or not, and that's it. Because like without social media, like except social media, you don't have any messages in WhatsApp. Like nobody's texting you at 3 a.m., bro. So there's no need. And also I have my dopamine. Like since my dopamine level, like my dopamine balance is so well tuned that I don't even need to like get hyped up and stuff. All I need is my computer and my keyboard and my mouse and my monitor, like, and that's it, bro. Then I can work for hours. Then I can learn for hours. Then I can literally do something for myself that I will be proud when I'm in my deathbed. Like, actually, the journey is more important, but you got my point. You will have inevitably have a better life when your motivation source is not those external things, but the internal things that you have, your morals, your obligations. Every obligation is different for people to people. It changes. So I can't tell a fixed obligation. But one of the most important ones are like helping you and other people. Like, but the most important one is probably yourself, because if you don't get better, how are we gonna help other people, right? Like, if you don't earn money, how are we gonna donate to charity, right? It's like it's simple math. If you don't know philosophy, how are we gonna teach philosophy, right? In the feeling, like when you into that flow state, like as I've mentioned before, flow is the best moments of your life. When you get into that flow state, the deeper it is, the better the experience. When I'm talking through a camera and stuff, when I'm working, when I'm like editing videos, when I'm writing my book, when I'm going for a run, like it is so much like I can tell you the feeling that I have. It is much more different than just playing games and scrolling social media, because like not only that you're free, but you're also doing something that is aligned with your obligations and purposes. And as I've said before, you can't be motivated all the time, but you can feel that sense of purpose all the time. You can feel that joy. You can feel that kind of like intrinsic motivation inside of you. There's like firing up to do something that is important for your obligations and like moral obligations and stuff. It may sound bullshit at first, but when you think about this, everything is from inside. Everything that you want to get comes from inside. If you don't want to get rich, you don't want to get rich. Like, what I mean by that is some people might not want to get rich because it's enough. Like the money that they have, that they get monthly or yearly, is enough to them. It's enough for them, and that's why they're okay with themselves. That's why that they just don't work hard that much. They just work like okay. They just work like 8 hours. Like it's actually like probably less than 3 hours. If you have this chess clock thing where you only count the hours that you have worked, which is actually really really lower than we think it is. And also you sometimes go out and drink, and you kind of like have some kind of a imbalanced dopamine state, dopamine balance, and it's kind of okay life, but it's probably not the best. And we all know this, bro. We all know that we are capable of more, but not with like those through like not with through those motivational speeches, but only through our purposes, through like all of those questions of like who am I, who I wanna be in life, what do I wanna do actually, and those questions are actually much harder than you think. Like back then, I was thinking was like, or I'm gonna be a soccer player, like a football player, and I'm gonna earn money and I'm gonna donate money to charity, and like, bro, this is so steep. It's like, bro, this like it's this deep, bro. We have to be this deep at least this deep. If you want to get really good understanding of our lives, which we don't. We don't ask those hard questions. We don't say like, all right, bro, what if I don't become a professional football player? What's gonna happen then? Like, which job am I gonna apply for? Like, this is so hard, bro. It's so hard even to think about this. If I get fired from my job, what's gonna happen? Bro, I have so many plans that I can't tell you now. Like so many jobs, so many other types of purposes that I can have, but I'm kind of not like choosing not to because no, I have this now. If this doesn't happen, then I will have tons of like even D plan, E plan, F plan, like A B C D F, like so many plans. But I think that is what you need. That is like if you don't have joy when you're doing that thing, if you use discipline all the time, that might be a problem. Like I'm not saying that just don't use discipline at all because you have to if you want to get better in life. If you want to just most of the time get up in the morning. But then if you get into that flow state and you still feel like shit, there is something that is really fucked up and you should fix it. Even like it can be your dopamine system, it can be your job, it can be your purposes, it can be your moral values, it can be anything. But just find it. You have to find it. I can't find it. I'm not a psychologist. You have to find it yourself. Even if you can like find a really good psychologist, but it's all inside of you, bro. It's all inside maybe a pen and a paper. Then you can find what you actually want in life. You can watch another video here. Goodbye.